Hey everyone, it's Jason from Kinda Cool, and we are in Pasadena, Texas, which is right outside of Houston, on a very nice but windy day for Retropalooza Houston Edition 2023. So, if you're waiting for me to bump into any of my Retro Collective trade members like we did for the last one in Dallas, not going to happen today. I did put out some feelers, but it seemed like everybody else had something else going on or just couldn't make it or whatever, so just brought the family this time around, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, here we are waiting in line for our lanyard, and the theme this year is Pokemon for the lanyard. They change it up each time, and my favorite probably of all time is still the Castlevania one, but what are you going to do, right? That's not too bad. So, got here a little late. It's not too crowded here waiting to get in because I wasn't in a really big rush today. It takes about 3 hours to get there. I'm about equidistant from where I'm at in Austin to get to either Dallas or Houston, so if you're willing to put about 3 hours on the road, you can get there, but I wasn't in a rush today. Kind of a nice, relaxed trip out here, and here we are walking in for the first time, and I'm on a mission this time, so I'm usually a little scattershot with my approach to what I collect. I kind of collect for everything and look for good deals and cool stuff, but this time I'm laser beam focused on a mission. I'm trying to improve my Konami Silver Box CIB collection for the Nintendo Entertainment System, which I kind of just recently started getting into, and I'm looking to get a couple heavy hitters, maybe one heavy hitter. I mean, stretch goal being, three or four, and I want to at least bring home a couple, one heavy hitter and maybe a moderate hitter. We'll see. We'll see what they have, and so we're kind of on the hunt for that. And obviously, if we're running any kind of crazy good deals, we can't ignore those either. So we got to keep an open mind. And so here we are, kind of just walking around and soaking up all the sights and sounds, and a lot of comic books at these. There always are, and I used to be into comic books quite a bit, not so much anymore. It's not really my thing, but I always do appreciate seeing them as I walk through. And I think this guy had some pretty good graded examples and things like that. But being a retro gamer, I'm not going to spend too much time there, but got to keep panning around. And you can kind of see if you've seen some of my other videos, which I feel like I'm kind of becoming that convention guy on YouTube. But you know what? I'll take that. It's not too bad. And you'll see that it's not quite as big as the other ones that I've recorded in the past for either Retropalooza in Arlington/Dallas or Classic Game Fest in Austin. But you know what? Still plenty of fun to be had at these, and you can find some deals and hang out with some like-minded folks, and that is perfectly fine with me. Always a lot of cool artwork and trinket type things to fill your game room with. These guys are crazy talented, and they're usually here on site to sign your prints, and if you're into that type of thing, which I am. If I get a print, I like to have the autograph from the person who actually did it. I think this might have been like a homebrew station right here. And every one of these conventions I go to, I always bump into Ghostbusters. They're well represented at all these geek type things. So, festivals, gaming, comics, whatever it is, toys. I used to do toy conventions and see them there as well. So they travel well. Always a lot of pop culture type things, Funko Pops and toys and miscellaneous trading cards that aren't even sports cards, Garbage Pail Kids and Pokemon and movie trading cards, a lot of the old Top stuff with the old gum. These are two of the new Masters of the Universe releases that came out recently. They're very authentic and true to the originals, and I was a really big Masters of the Universe fan as a kid, even as an adult toy collector later in life as well. Just because it's a small convention doesn't mean you're not going to see heavy hitters here, and there are definitely some here. You got Popful Mail on Sega CD and Harvest Moon on SNES. Those aren't light hitters. Some other miscellaneous stuff here. Still no silver boxes though. We're still on the hunt. CIB silver box stuff. Just kind of pan around. Oh, loose though. I need the box. Super C there. WADA haters, avert your eyes. There's a really clean Mario Kart 64 graded from WADA. And there was some WADA stuff this time. How about this for 123 Gamer Man? Artie Lightfoot. Yeah, does it have the manual? I'm betting it does for $5. It's a pretty heavy hitter. That's pretty cool stuff. Nothing that's jumping out at me for me today, though. Just kind of back walking around, checking out some tables, and This is pretty indicative of what you see at any of these events. It's like tables full of cool stuff ready for you to dive into. This one's no different. I think over here, this is towards the back of the venue. This is where you had your kind of YouTube celebrities or, you know, whatever it is type thing. You know, people that maybe contributed to games and professional cosplay players. I think that's what she was for sure. There was a few of those here. Wild guns for $275. Oh, almost silver box. Close.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there we go. Our first catch of the day. Looks like we got Top Gun, second mission, and the first one. And what's that tucked away in the corner? Is that Life Force? Very interesting. This guy had Toys R Us bags in like mint condition. I think they were going for about 20 bucks a pop, but kind of shows the level of Toys R Us nostalgia that's going on out there these days. And I've heard they're even selling the tickets that you would pull from Toys R Us to take up to the front to get the actual game, but I didn't see any here at this event. I just heard that's a thing. So pretty cool looking Final Fight Arcade 1-up. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right, now we're on to something. I've already got Dracula's Curse, but I saw some down here that I don't have. And again, I was saying I want to try to score a heavy hitter. I would definitely put both of these in that category. So very interesting. Very interesting. Freeze-dried candy. This is the thing that's kind of popping up. I haven't seen it as much as at the retro kind of conventions and festivals as I have at other things that we go to. There's like a Christmas show every year my wife goes to, and she said they have these here as well. But they're pretty good. And we bought some this time. This is like freeze-dried cereals. I think it was like Lucky Charms, and there's gummy bears, and you know, cereals and candy, Skittles, Jolly Ranchers, all sorts of stuff. And if you've ever had freeze-dried food, I mean, it's all pretty much the same texture and consistency. You put it in your mouth and it kind of explodes and dissolves in a kind of a 4 or 5 second hit of mega flavor. And we got the Skittles and the Jolly Ranchers, and I gotta say, pretty darn good, man. We ate through the bag pretty quickly. It's not the cheapest thing in the world though, so you know, gotta kind of meter yourself a little bit here on these. But I was impressed. You know, you got their business card, and they'll send it to you if you really want some. Put some in the mail for you there. Not as many t-shirts this time around. I didn't get a t-shirt because nothing really jumped out at me this time, so t-shirts were underrepresented, I have to say, this time around. Here's something cool. Vinyl, retro vinyl. Buddy of mine, Bilbo Baggins from the Retro Collective, is really into this. He does a lot of videos on this, and a couple other people in the Retro Collective have kind of dabbled in as well, but it seems to be kind of a type of thing that's growing lately, and I think it's really cool. I don't do it myself. I think I'd probably start going too far down that rabbit hole if I did. But man, it is interesting, and I definitely wanted to give these a look while I was here. Mega Man, Resident Evil is in one of those. Yeah, there you go. Parasite Eve 2. Pretty cool.
Does it just look like it'd be like
Pez, some gaming and pop culture in general. Some Funko and plush. Pretty cool looking David Bowie picture right there. I thought that was pretty well done.
That's funny that's what your game plan was. Yeah.
Still searching for silver boxes here. Now see, this guy had some really good TurboGrafx stuff. There wasn't a lot of TurboGrafx or Neo Geo this time around, which I tend to like to kind of gravitate towards when I'm at these events. But this guy probably represented the best of the TurboGrafx stuff that was out there this time around. So that was just about it. A little bit of scattered stuff here and there, but there we go. There's a Contra. All right. And I think this, yeah, that you had a Super C over here and a Jackal and the Blades of Steel. All right, now we're talking. Okay, I can work with that. This guy was signing prints, and he'd done some cover work, I guess, on some of these comics. And look at this. This is really cool. Look at this Leonardo. Was he dead or something? I don't know. Is that his skin? I don't know. That's a pretty intense cover, but apparently he had a hand in that one. So that's definitely pretty cool. I thought some of these were pretty well done, too. Pretty cool stuff from BioShock. This guy had a bunch of different kind of prints for like mini posters. Some of them were pretty impressive too. He's got a nice style. I didn't get any, but definitely were cool. There wasn't a whole lot of cosplay other than the Ghostbusters, and we had this Pikachu right here. And I don't know if they worked here or if there was somebody walking around. Who knows, right? You never know, right? But they were still pretty cool about coming up to the kids and doing pictures and things like that. So it worked out pretty well. There was a little area towards the back. There was no free play arcade like we're kind of used to at these things, but there was some CRT set up with multiple different kind of gaming setups going on. And for my friend John over at Retro Projections, here we go. Look at this. Projected up onto this kind of brick wall with some gaming going on here. Looked pretty clear, looked pretty good. You know, maybe not Retro Projections quality, but it was up there.
Yeah, it's hot.
Expensive, but cool. And you know, more and more kind of just players copies. You see these at all these types of events, just if you want to get a good deal on an NES game, or you know, Super Nintendo game that may not be CIB or Mint or anything like that. These guys will work with you on that. Usually this is kind of what I like to go to, but again, focused on CIB today for the first time in a while. It's not really been my thing in the past, but it's interesting to have a different. Oh, here we go. Cool. Yeah, Super C's. I see multiple bogeys here. All right, Jackal. Yeah. And some of these guys, there's a Super C, another Jackal. This guy was actually pretty well loaded up. We're willing to trade with you too, and I had a backpack full of bartering stuff as well. So, you know, I had to get something worked out here. Supreme toothpaste. I don't know. I guess it's retro. It's old, right? Somebody wants to collect old toothpaste. Funky Brewster. I used to watch the show, but it wasn't my favorite, if I have to admit. I just watched it because it was on and it was the 80s. That's what you did, right? DVDs and a big old stack of VHS over here, if I recall as well. Double Dare, all right. Something from Elvis. Donna. Justify My Love. Man, that made a big splash in the 90s when that VHS came out. I guess apparently that video was banned on MTV, and so the scuttlebutt in my high school halls was, you know, I heard somebody's got a copy of that Madonna band video, man. Justify My Love. That was the thing. Back in the day. This guy had sealed stuff. So if you wanted to go ahead and do your own WADA grading, you buy it here, put it in the mail, right? It's that easy. Of course, you're definitely going to pay to play, because these weren't cheap. This is a pretty good booth, pretty solid booth. Some 3DO stuff. Juliet India Mobile, buddy, if he's out there. YouTube land. I need to get a 3DO, so that's still on my list of systems I'd like to collect. I just haven't done it yet. It's one of the last ones I think I would get.
It's really simple looking. You see people with like a little shoulder mount.
I'm sure Jonathan back in the day gaming. Look at this, limited run Doom 64. I know he'd be all over that. Again, some more pseudo silver boxes. Not quite original CIB silver boxes. So. Close. And I'm not going to come into these conventions ever and not check out Sketchy Glass. It's like one of my favorite types of things when I come to these. They got all these pop culture type things on these glasses, and I didn't buy any this time. It's like the first time I haven't bought a Sketchy Glass in a while. But there were some cool new ones here. I don't remember seeing all these before. And you know, they always do a good job of landing right in my wheelhouse of what I appreciate from a pop culture standpoint. So they always seem to get it right. I actually have one very close to that I got a few years back. I actually do have that one. Pretty cool stuff. And they had this new style too that I don't remember seeing in the past. So this is kind of a new like thermos mug, and kind of unique and. Whoa, whoa, whoa. False alarm though. It's on a mug. It's a silver box, but on a mug.
Yeah.
Some pretty cool 3D printed art here. So recently I helped a buddy out,
Yeah, there's two
and
A64s in there.
Romulius, I think is his name.
Go,
And he
want me
needed a
to take a look at it?
PVM that needed to be picked up in Temple, Texas, which is kind of split the distance between Dallas and Austin. He couldn't make it out there. I went and picked it up for him, and he rewarded me with a bunch of cool stuff. And one of the things that he gave me was this really cool 3D printed dragon. And it reminds me a lot of these here. He's, really talented with the 3D printing work, so I think I'm set for dragons for right now, but it's a cool booth nonetheless. And so here, just to prove there's something for everybody at Retropalooza, if you ever wanted to get your dog or your cat a bow tie or a bandana with retro-inspired goodness or pop culture goodness, well, here you go. You come to the right booth. So you got Pac-Man and Minecraft, and if you ever wanted to put a Lord of the Rings bandana on your dog or a Pennywise bandana, this is the place you go to. And yes, we did buy something. My wife spent a considerable amount of time in this booth, and we did come home with something. So it wasn't just looking here. We did we did contribute to the cause here. And yes, it already has been deployed. Here it is. So this is my dog Mac, and he is sporting his bacon bow tie. So, all right. So you're thinking, what did I get? So I went on a mission for silver boxes, and you know what? I think I scored. Look at this. Starting off with Contra. Heavy hitter. The guy wanted 200 on it, but he was willing to bargain, and he took some of my trade fodder, and I worked this down to I think $100. So pick that one up. But not just that, I got a Super C as well. So I kind of completed the 2-hit combo of having Contra and Super C. But I didn't leave with just those. I got Life Force as well. So this was one I really kind of wanted to get if I could find it, and it was the only one that was there. Brought it home, and now I've got 3 new really nice looking CIB silver boxes for my collection. So all said, I think it was a successful trip, and thanks for watching, guys, and tune in next time. I hope to show you something kind of cool.